my wife hates me. I found this out over Christmas, that she was trying to get rid of me. And it's not for like, I've got a lot of money, that she's going to get something out of it. She's just getting a lot of enjoyment out of doing me in. What she's done, and her master plan, is she signed me up for this thing called the Lead Challenge. Now, some of y'all might be familiar with that. Most of you are sane enough not to be. What it is, it's a series of races in Leadville, Colorado. You go out last weekend in June and run a trail marathon. A week later, you do a 50-mile trail run. Or the next day, you can do a 50-mile mountain bike race. She signed me up for both of them. Extra pain. And then you go out middle of August, you do the 100-mile mountain bike ride. The next day you wake up, you do a 10K run. And then the following Saturday, you get to do the Leadville 100-mile trail run. So as anybody can see, that's not something you do to people that you like. You know, I haven't done a 100-mile run for over a decade. So I'm ill prepared. I have never challenged taken on anything like this on a mountain bike. So there's going to be a lot of torture and suffering involved in this. And if I've got to go through with it, you get to come along for the journey. And with that, I've given it some thought, and a lot of people try to be inspirational and motivational in their adventures. Nah, I'm not that. Because the way I figure it, if you're into ultras and doing those kind of things, you've got all the motivation and inspiration you need. A lot of times what we do need is some problem solving. And I've always I've always seen from my personal experience, and also those that I've watched come across finish lines over the years, that when you win, you learn very little from it. When you completely and totally fail at something, there's a lot to be learned from that. And I think there's probably going to be a lot of failure in this year. So come along, you might learn something. I'm going to share some decision making, because I have no idea. The training, I've trained for a lot of triathlons and that type thing, but those are all tied together. These are, the bikes and the runs are totally separate events, and you have to be able to train for that 100-mile mountain bike and that 100-mile run. So it's going to take some different types of training than I've ever done before. The equipment, that's going to be a lot of decision making in the equipment. From the bike stuff to just as simple as, people didn't use poles when I used to run the 100-milers quite a bit. So, you know, I have to get accustomed to that kind of equipment. So hopefully I'll live through all this and we'll all learn something together.